All I can say is that the fake news just doesn't get it, do they? I'm losing my voice. I don't think Donald Trump has ever lost his voice in right? Did he ever? I don't remember him ever losing his voice. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. Joe Biden, known to lose his voice, also known to lose his marbles, made two pretty basic gaffes today in Alabama. He went to the Javelin missile factory. You know, they're sending the Javelins to Ukraine. But Joe couldn't keep it straight in his head who we're fighting, whose side we're on, where these Javelins are going, et cetera, et cetera.
Coastal defense systems. Before Russia attacked, we made sure Russia had javelins and other weapons to strengthen the defenses so Ukraine was ready for whatever happened.
Oh, we didn't make sure Russia had the javelins. We made sure Ukraine had the javelins. What else did he say?
And just a few days ago, the Wall Street Journal quoted a young Hungarian fighter saying, and I quote, "Without the javelins, would have been very hard to stop the enemy pushing ahead," end of quote. So these weapons...
Misquote. We looked it up in the Wall Street Journal. It wasn't a Hungarian. It was a Ukrainian, Joe, okay? We're supporting the Ukrainian fighters. Okay. Now, as this abortion debate reignites, you got to remember the fake news. They are not on our side. They are all pro-choice, ardently so. All Democrats, they don't mind being lied to. We saw that the other night. They're just hooting and hollering at everything Joe Biden does. They're always giving each other awards, trophies for who the hell knows what, but they gave each other a lot of trophies the other night. It was one after the next after the next. I mean, the Academy Awards of fake news, but they are incensed about what's going on right now.
The willingness to trade off women and women's rights for people's own personal political views is sickening.
Republicans should be ashamed of themselves. For a party that says that they're all about individual freedom, they're hell-bent on taking away freedoms from so many women.
But if this ruling as drafted becomes law, this incredible leak of a draft opinion, it eviscerates women's rights.
And we're literally stripping the women of this country of their rights. If that happens, I think you're going to see repercussions like never before.
Oh, when have they ever lied to us before, huh? When have they ever exaggerated and hyped something beyond all recognition? Read the opinion, the draft. It's totally reasonable, and there's a provision in here. Our elected representatives can regulate abortion, all right? If we live in a state that is so directed by the voters. Okay, oh, Elizabeth Warren, though. This is almost funny.
Senator, how are you feeling?
I am angry.
Angry and upset?
Angry and upset and determined. The United States Congress.
Number one, she's walking on that flower bed. She's crushing flowers as she's on this little tirade. Keep going.
Can keep Roe versus Wade the law of the land. They just need to do it.
I've never seen you so angry. You seem to be...
This is what the Republicans have been working toward this day for decades. They have been out there plotting, carefully cultivating these Supreme Court justices so they could have a majority on the bench who would accomplish something that the majority of Americans do not want. 69% of people across this country, red states and blue states, old people and young people, want Roe versus Wade to maintain as the law of the land. We need to do that, and we have a right.
All right, I've actually seen Liz Warren angrier than this. It was at the staffer who told her to take that DNA test that proved she was a fake Indian. Remember that? She blew her top. And meanwhile, Liz, you really shouldn't be this angry because take a look. You're ultimately going to have a say in this. In the draft opinion, it says it is time to heed the Constitution. You have a problem with that? And return the issue of abortion to the people's elected representatives. That sounds terrific to me, actually. But again, they don't read this stuff. This is Congresswoman Jayapal, known for her hysterics surrounding January 6th because she, I don't know, she had to sit down for a while.
I can tell you that this is a stunning rebuke of precedent and of the fundamental freedom that women have to make choices about our own bodies and our own futures and our own economic security. And the thing is, Victor, that these justices are acting like this is somehow something that they have the right to change. They do not have the right to change this, which has been settled law for 2 generations now.
All right, actually, they do have the right to change it. It's right in there. And they have overturned precedent before. If it's bad constitutional law, there's even a greater imperative to do so. Do you know, somebody thought that Brown versus Board of Education at one point was constitutional, right? Before it was thrown out. One way or the other, precedent was actually dismissed for the court to do the right thing. It happens. It's good. But there's this, and then there's a lot of racial virtue signaling. Take a look.
This is a blow to poor women, and particularly to poor black women, because black women are the women who are getting abortions at a higher rate than any other group. So the Supreme Court has just dealt them, a group who is already, by very many economic metrics, suffering much more than other groups in America. They've just dealt them another very difficult blow. If you look back to times when abortion was illegal in this country, who were the people that died from unsafe, illegal abortions? It was overwhelmingly black and brown women who died, not wealthier white women. So the ramifications of this are very, very real for women, and they're very, very real for poorer women, for whom this will mean that abortion is now effectively out of reach, and they will have to deal with it alone.
This person has no idea what it's like to be poor and brown or black in America, okay? But boy, oh boy, it feels good, virtue signaling like that. The reaction from the left has been both ignorant and borderline criminal. Take a look at some of these tweets. Now, I'm not for censorship, right? You can do whatever you want. But you should put a picture of the Supreme Court and you say, burn it to the effing ground. This is not democracy. That's a call for violence right there. Professor! A professor put this up. Ooh, this is from Mary Trump, Donald Trump's niece, estranged, of course. Remember her on her beer run and the nasty book she wrote? And, oh, she knows all these secrets about Donald Trump, even though she was 2 years old at the time and he was 22. It's a mess. What did she tweet? Borderline stuff. Women with unplanned pregnancies will suffer and die. Children raped by their fathers or uncles or strangers will suffer and die. This SCOTUS will make these deaths not just inevitable, but legal. And Republicans do not care. We must fight back. Hashtag expand the court. Watch for that. I think we have another one. Oh, Gavin Newsom, the pretty boy from California. The world is about to hear their fury. California will not sit back. We are going to fight like hell. Interesting, whenever Republicans say they want to fight like hell, they say, that's an insurrection. How about this one? I'm not sure what she's getting at. I do wonder how these white supremacist lawmakers would feel if their little white daughters were raped and impregnated by black men. What an odd thing to say. What a terribly odd and vulgar thing to say. We'll just leave it at that. Who has brought us to this moment? Guys like Chuck Schumer. Again, the left can say whatever the heck they want, can't they?
I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you.
Call the marshals on this guy. When they do it, it's fine. All right, I'm going to put that aside for a moment because it's primary day in Ohio. Very competitive Senate primary. There are the candidates. J.D. Vance, by the way, has the endorsement of President Trump. And President Trump, of course, endorsed a lot of people. Ex-presidents don't do this, but he has.
Senator Chuck Grassley has my complete and total endorsement for re-election. He's a great governor. He loves the state. Has my complete and total endorsement. Greg Abbott, Governor Greg Abbott. I want to pick somebody that's going to win, and this man is going to win. Come on up, J.D. Carrie Lake, I'll tell you, she is incredible. She's going to be your next governor. And by the way, I endorsed another person today, Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania. Dr. Oz.
That's pretty amazing, right? Most presidents don't do this, ex-presidents, whatever. He did it 100 times, I think, because if they're wrong, it'll reflect badly on them. I love his style here. He's got this popularity. He's got money. He's got influence. Why not use it? Most politicians hoard it, mostly for themselves, right? Anyway, the fake news, they can't wait until the first Trump-endorsed candidate loses.
The power of Donald Trump's endorsements getting put to the test.
Ohio is going to be a big test for the former president.
It is a big test for the former president.
It's going to be a big test for Trump. We've got Ohio, we've got North Carolina, Pennsylvania, where he endorsed Dr. Oz, Texas, Georgia, lots of Trump candidates coming up on the ballot.
It's going to be a big test. He likes being tested. He loves it. He loves it. And look, some of these candidates are going to win. I hope most of them win. I hope all of them win. Some are going to lose. We'll see what happens. But he's willing to stick his neck out, and most politicians aren't. Certainly ex-presidents. Jimmy Carter, Foreign Affairs, he really did. Republicans and Democrats alike can't stand this guy. George H.W. Bush, one term in office. I mean, he went up to Kennebunkport, and I don't know what happened next, but he wasn't a political powerhouse, right? But Donald Trump, he always wanted to get something done, things done for us, for the country. And that's why he's not retiring, even though I don't think there's ever been an older ex-president, right? Something like that. Donald Trump was the oldest person up until Biden to take the job. Anyway, he's still got it, right?
We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again.
The fake news, they hate this. Again, it defies the model that they created, right? You're not supposed to be like this. You're supposed to be like Jimmy Carter. You're supposed to go home. You're supposed to hang your head in shame. Good for you, Donald Trump.